Hi, everyone. It's Kellie Day coming to you live with Arlene Sedora. Arlene is an artist from Toronto. We've recently worked together. She is a fitness instructor, a musician, a life coach, and an artist. And welcome, Arlene. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thanks, Kellie. Great to be here.
So today we are here to inspire all of you women who want to do your own art and maybe are hesitant or not sure how. So Arlene's going to share her journey. And so let's just start by just give us a little background about yourself, Arlene, if you would.
Sure. I'm 53 and I just retired about a year ago after an amazing corporate career. About 30 years, I was working in corporate Canada, loved my job, and but I'm really enjoying my retirement and looking to just get back out of the pandemic and doing things and living life more normally over the next year. I've got two kids who are in kind of past in post-secondary and past post-secondary, and I live with my dear husband.
Yay, who's in one of your paintings behind you.
Yes.
So Arlene, you have recently created a series of paintings. You are painting stories from your own life and your own heart. You are fiercely loyal to your story, and you just got accepted into a juried show and won an award. Congratulations. Tell us a little bit about your art.
Well, my art, it is right now, I mean, it's been a journey, but not a long journey. So I only started painting about a year and a half ago. And I decided to just start painting during the pandemic. I needed something to do. And especially after I retired, I really wanted to get back to doing something creative. So I've been on this journey of painting and I love it. As soon as I started, I knew I was meant to paint. I just knew it. And so most recently now, I'm just exploring. I'll say, I don't really even call myself an artist. I call myself a creative explorer, because that's what I feel like I am. I come into my studio, and when I come in, I do a little bit of mindset work just to say, what are you doing today? And I love to just come in and explore what I'm feeling like, and whatever that translates to, whether it's just small explorations for the day or working on a bigger painting, I'm okay with that. And my objective really is just to try and be as free as possible when I enter into my studio and not worry about the outcome.
That's so amazing. And that's so hard for so many artists to do, as we know. So you're painting freely, and you told me that with this new happiness, it has spilled over into your life and affected how you look at the world. I just love how art does that. But when we met in May, you weren't painting this freely. So tell us where you were at back then. I know you were painting with watercolors. What was going on back then?
Painting with watercolors, and I love the medium. It's wonderful. It feels fantastic. And, even though I had only been painting for about a year from, when I met you, I had painted some really nice pieces. People around me really liked them. I was getting great feedback. I was proud of them. And I was painting, portraits of my kids and my parents. And, I love to paint what I know and what's in my life.
Yeah.
So I was quite happy with painting watercolor, but it was interesting because as I learned more and tried to get more skillful, I found that I was getting just tighter and tighter and tighter. I was painting in the realist style. And so I would be painting from photographs, which is how I was doing a lot of my portraits. And it was fine, but then I found I got to the point where I couldn't even move without looking at a photo. Like, it was just the strangest experience. I got to the point where I was paralyzed. Like, I would paint something from a photo and my heart knew this painting needs something else. But do you think I could do it? I couldn't. And it was just, I was physically paralyzed. I could not put my brush on the paper to do anything that was photo. It was a very powerful experience, and I knew something was really wrong. I was so stuck in the needing to control the outcome that it was stopping me from doing anything. Forget about painting from my heart. It was just stopping me from even the act of putting my brush on the paper. I was that paralyzed.
That's
So I
amazing.
knew I had to do something. Otherwise, I was actually going to give up. Like, so it was such a miserable, sad experience.
Wow. So that's just so amazing that you said, you knew it needed something. You couldn't connect to your heart. What was it that helped you break free of that? What was it? I know that you had this huge breakthrough in week 2, which is so early,
Yeah.
of us working together. And so what was it that helped you get out of that need to control, in your head, frozen, to just breaking free? It was such a big transformative moment for you.
Yeah. So I think that's a big question. As I reflect back, I think number one, I knew I had an issue. I knew I was blocked, right? It wasn't pretend. It was like right there in front of me, and I knew I had to do something. So I had strength of conviction that I wanted to do something. So when I met you, I already knew I needed to do something. Okay, so I wasn't going to need to be dragged along in a program.
Yeah.
I was ready. Actually, I had done a lot of work on myself in the decades leading up to this moment. But I also kind of figured there was something deep inside of me going on to make me paralyzed. And I was really hoping that your program was going to be a catalyst to help me kind of like, I saw maybe your program might open a door for me that then I could just kick wide open. That was my
Yeah.
hope, the
Yeah.
program. But I mean, honestly, I was ready.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had done the work and I was ready. And I'd say I entered the program with really just the biggest hope of being free. And
Mhm.
I personally was prepared to do anything to get there. So I didn't know what to expect in your program. And I promised myself I was just going to do what was asked with no need to control. And just my commitment was I was just going to do it with as much as I could, my whole heart, to see where it led me, not worry
Wow.
about anything.
Yeah, I love that you said you're going to do it with your whole heart. And, Arlene had done a lot of work on herself in the years leading up. And I think that's why you were so ready, because if you come into working with a mentor with resistance, and you're not open to trusting, then it doesn't happen on this big level. You've got to be open and trusting and willing to be coachable. And that's what you were so good at. And I've often thought it's probably helped you that you were a coach as well, right? That
It did.
there's got to be a level of trust there, right?
Mhm.
So okay, you just said so many amazing things, but what do you think helped you with that breaking free transition?
So I'd say again, big question because it was a lot of things, but fundamentally, I think the first thing was, and you even said this to me when we met, when you learned I was a watercolor artist,
Mhm.
that watercolor actually was a medium that put me in a corner. And I totally can agree with that, especially being a realist watercolor painter. You have to plan your painting from the beginning. It's just the way you've got to use the medium. You've got to protect your whites, kind of those
Yeah.
kind of skills based things. And I didn't realize that the medium was actually causing some issues for me and pushing me deeper and deeper into the realm of control, which is
To put you
exactly
in your head. Yeah.
100% in my head. And the more I got in my head, the less I don't even know how much of my heart ever was there because I was just too concentrated and focused on being good at using watercolor paints. So I
Yeah.
think the first thing was new
Mhm.
media that actually is so forgiving. And I'll be totally honest, Kelly. At the beginning, when I heard it was mixed media, I'm like, no way, it's not for me. Like
Yeah.
it's I can't be serious about this. And I remembered I promised myself I would just trust and kind of enter in the program almost with wild abandon. And I'm like, how bad could this be? How much wrong could this be given? Like, I can't even put my paintbrush on my page. So I picked up the stuff and I tried it, and lo and behold, really early on, I think you said I've made a big breakthrough in week 2.
Yeah.
It was just, oh my gosh, this medium is helping me, like, already just not worry about stuff. I can
Yeah.
make mistakes. I can paint over. I can, do, just
Yeah.
explore, which I couldn't with watercolor. And so that, coupled with a lot of the mindset work that I had to do for myself on just, dealing with what I was fearing. What am I afraid of?
Mhm.
Why am I feeling the need to control? And getting to some of those root causes that the
Yeah.
program makes room for.
Yeah.
I think those are kind of largely the first kind of the 1-2 punch that got me to pass that barrier really early on in the program.
Yeah. Yeah, we work so much on that. It's very holistic. And you said it. You were just in your head and you put yourself in a corner, and you were so open to trying a new medium. And it's funny because the tendency is, no, I want to stay where I am, right? I want to stay in my comfort zone. I don't want to try something new. And yet that's exactly what broke you free, along with the mindset work. The other thing that's huge that you keep mentioning is that you went from your heart, your head, to your heart. You learned how to start painting from your heart, right?
Absolutely. And I because I hadn't experienced that before, I don't know how long it would, if I hadn't taken your program, I'm not sure how long it would have taken me to make that step, because I just didn't know what it felt like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that, again, it was experiencing your program, it was a catalyst just to open the door, like a little peek into, if you do trust yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
here's a way that you can kind of look at how you can trust yourself. And plus my willingness to do it with wild abandon is the thing that, just like, I just needed a little taste of what the heart felt like. And once I tasted it, it was like, I'm never going back. This
And that's
is
where all those amazing paintings come from. Girl, go ahead. Sorry. That
no,
you
no, that's it. Like, there's no point in ever going back, because it has just brought me, the freedom has brought me so much joy, and not just in my art, but I just feel, how can I say it? I just feel like lighter in my life, more alive in my life. And I was alive before. Like, I was really happy, but now I'm just like, I feel fearless about my art,
Mm.
and it's really just kind of flown over into other parts of my life.
Mm. Love, love, love hearing that, Arlene. And it's all because you showed up and you were so open and you were so coachable and so willing to learn. And I thank you for that, because it's just been a delight to work with you. So what would you say to other women who are stuck maybe in the position that you were back in May, who maybe are on the fence of trusting themselves and putting their art first and jumping into this program?
Mm. So I'd say, be clear that you really want to do this and why. I think if you're resisting knowing that you're gonna, if you're gonna fight it, I truly believe you're gonna continue to be stuck. I think you really have to want to make a change, and that's only gonna happen in yourself.
Yeah.
Someone else can never do it for you. Like, you can meet people and they can tell you stuff, but unless you're willing to do it yourself, uh, I don't think it's going to happen. The other thing is, I'd say, like, and knowing, and also being a coach, I'd say, be make sure that you're in a relatively good mindset when you enter into the program, like the rest of your life is feeling relatively stable, and that there's not something big that you're dealing with, because it really is an immersive experience. And I think for me, I gave myself the time to be immersed in the program. I gave myself all the time I needed to do it, because I really wanted to, give it my all. So lots of dedicated time. And I'd say also, really, if you can, trust Kellie and trust the process. things that may appear ridiculous that, you're being asked to do and you can't understand, just do it. Honestly, just do it and see what happens. Again, like, what if you did it? Something magical might happen. What if you didn't do it? I can pretty much guarantee you're not going to move forward.
Yeah.
So, what, really, really go in, trust it, and do it with your whole heart, however you need to get there, however you need to use your whole heart to do these little things that kind of build along the way.
Yeah, yeah, it's so true. Women that try to do it on their own, they rarely make the big transformations. And so if you're willing to show up, give it about 8 to 10 hours a week. It's not a 40-hour job, but you want to put some time into it. You're willing to show up, trust yourself, trust the process, and be open-hearted like Arlene, then you can make the big transformations too. And I will guide you, be your muse, and open you to your greatest art. And if that's you and you want to do this, you can book an art breakthrough call with me like Arlene did in May. And you can do that at kelliedayart.com/booking. And that's Kellie with an IE, dayart.com/booking. Please don't book a call with me. If you are just looking for free information or you're dabbling, these are only for women like Arlene who really want to get unstuck and start making their greatest art and love their life after retirement or after your kids leave. I've even got students who still have kids and they're just super dedicated. So if that's you, I'd love to speak with you. Arlene, I can't thank you enough for being here. I will say, normally I love to promote your website, but Arlene has decided to keep her Instagram private right now because she doesn't want to be distracted by social media. She's fiercely loyal to just exploring her own art right now. And if you want to see her art, it's on the Juried Show website. What is that Juried Show?
It's the Markham Group of Artists.
Markham? Can you spell that for me?
Markham. So if you just Google Markham Group of Artists, you'll be directed to a website. And the Juried Show just opened today, and I've got 2 paintings.
Yay! And congratulations on your award. Arlene, it's so great to see you. Thanks everyone for being here. Please leave a comment. Let us know if this inspired you. If you feel similarly to how Arlene did last year or last spring. And we love to hear from you. All right, take care. Bye. Bye, Arlene. Thank you.